Exactly. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Comics Corner. I am Mike here with Johnny.
What up? Happy Tuesday.
It is Tuesday, so that means that we are here to talk some comic news and then get into some sales and bundles that we have. So out the gate here, it is Tuesday, the 27th. We'll be having new comics, which is tomorrow. So we got in our new shipment of comics. Again, we are doing, at the moment, it is a kind of a limited week. It was mostly DC items, a handful of indie ones, and for the first week in a long time, some Marvel titles. The main ones this week, it was Venom 25, Avengers 33, and that was kind of it.
No, Marauders. I don't remember.
Marauders. Yeah, Marauders. I think 11. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no variants for that one, which I was shocked. I don't know if they're not doing variants anymore.
So now the way that Marauders are at, the way that Marvel usually does it is after the first 5 issues or so, the variants kind of become the ratio ones. So it's usually a 1 in 25 is the lowest one. Again, for those who don't know, ratio variants, 1 in 25 indicates that to order one of those ones, we'd have to order at least 25 at the base. So they become a little bit more harder to get, harder to find, and as such, usually kind of more expensive.
Yeah, because for those first 5 or 6 issues of all the Dawn of X titles, I mean, there was variant covers galore. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm glad they kind of reeled it back on that. It was a little excessive.
Yeah, it kind of makes it a little bit easier for people to kind of follow and get along all of them if people are interested without having to, break the bank every issue. But yeah, again, it's kind of nice getting back into the swing of things. I'm glad that they're doing it kind of easing it out as opposed to just, shoving everything on the shelves because, obviously a lot of people, might not be back at work. They might not necessarily have the time or money for a lot of comics right now. So yeah, I think it's smart to kind of divvy them up like that. Also,
the only thing we really got doubled up on was Flash. For some reason, they sent us last week's and this week's or some combination.
Yeah,
it was weird.
I thought that was a mix-up, but it seems to be right. Yeah, we got 774 and 775. I think it was
753, 754.
Yes, yeah. So we got 2 weeks of Flash, which is an interesting.
Yeah, he's so fast. He's here twice.
Exactly.
In 1 week.
Yeah, and then also the Flash Giant. It is a Flash every week.
Flash Tuesday.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. A Flash. We'll have a Flash sale on the Flash, hopefully. Also, LT on Twitch. Yes, after this stream, I can definitely read your message. I think it has to do with Pokemon stuff. LT, I believe, joined us on Thursdays. Royce and I open up Pokemon packs, so I'll definitely keep an eye out for that afterwards. LT.
I haven't opened a Pokemon pack since I was 12 years old. I bet that's so exciting.
You should join us. Yeah, I
would love to. That'd be fun.
It's fun because Royce knows a good amount about the Pokemon stuff. I'm kind of, I kind of grew up with it in the 90s and then kind of fell out of it since then. I played some of the video games too. So just seeing kind of, because they're at 900 something Pokemon now.
That was going to be my next question. So there's 151 and that's anything else
exactly,
is just crazy.
It's sacrilege, yeah. So yeah, it's fun. So yeah, I'd say check out Thursdays at 4 p.m. On here. Royce and I are cracking open Pokemon packs. But back to comics here. As we talked about, comics are kind of slowly coming back. As for any subscribers, we are still doing the curbside. So if there's anything that came out for you this week, curbside, we are doing Mondays through Saturdays from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And that way, you can call ahead of time. You can let us know, who you are. They have books on hold. We can take payments either over the phone via credit card, or we can do PayPal invoices. So whatever is more convenient for you, we're able to do, and we can get you those comics. Because like we said, fortunately, they're starting to kind of come back. And also reorders too. So a lot of books that we had, we've got some sweet trade paperbacks as options for upcoming book clubs. A reminder, tomorrow at 4 p.m. again, Central, Johnny and I will be talking about 2017's 12-issue miniseries, Mr. Miracle, which has been pretty sweet. No spoilers. We won't get into it too much. But yeah, if you want to hear us talk about that, the Tom King Mr. Miracle run, we are talking about, and we got, like I said, more books for future book clubs. So
yeah, and I got my Epic collections.
There's a lot. It was a big week for Johnny, yeah, because they finally started doing a lot of back orders of the Epic collections that Johnny's a big fan of. So
yeah, I literally got a pile of them sitting on a table over there. I'm stoked. Yeah.
So a lot to look forward to for everybody. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So this week, we're gonna try something a little bit different. Normally we did a lot of auctions, and they've been going well, but I feel like a lot of people have been responding well and mentioning that they kind of like the buy it now stuff. So I think this week, instead of the auction rules, we're gonna have buy it now rules. So basically, I believe these items will last for the entire week. Or no, sorry, a full day,
24 hours.
24 hours. Yeah. So basically, by the next time that we're streaming tomorrow, we'll be finalizing any of the purchases. So any of the items that we're going to be talking about today, we're going to have just kind of a flat price for it. And then it's going to be first come first serve. So if you mention if you're on Twitch or on Facebook, just make a comment in the chat. We could see it. We'll kind of tell you what the lot, like a title for the lot. Spoilers, we got some Walking Dead stuff coming up here. But for example, we'd say, the Walking Dead bundle. Here's how much it is. The first person to comment, in any of the chats, whether it's again Facebook, Twitch, wherever you're watching this, let us know, and then we'll square up with you at the end. We could do again. We could take either a credit card or PayPal will probably be the preferred way. Once the entire thing is done, if you got multiple items, we could square up with you then and send you just a single invoice for all of that. Shipping for the most part will be a flat $5. There may be an addendum to that for this first item, the Walking Dead, and possibly the Dragon Ball ones, because those items are a little bit bigger. And also a lot heavier. You get a lot in there. So
yeah, I carried this whole pile over here, and that was my workout for the day. And I work out, so like that was heavy, man.
Exactly,
like I'm some weakling or something.
Don't worry, nobody was coming at, nobody was suggesting that, but I'm glad that you got
it out of the way
in case anyone tries to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so again, for the most part, shipping on whatever you get from us, so it helps if you're getting multiple items. Will be a flat $5 unless otherwise noted in our in our pricing.
Yeah, and to be honest, I was actually somehow I didn't even know we had all these Walking Dead books, and there's a few other bundles I put together that like I didn't even realize we had the entire series of. So as a collector, I just think that's like such a convenient way to get something. Like, I mean, spoilers, we got the whole Walking Dead set here. That's easier than buying it one at a time, and you're going to get a better deal getting it all at once. So I was really happy we had enough books to fill out some entire runs in these bundles that we're going to be selling today.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We've got some really cool stuff to show. Real quick, shout out to Dave in the chat. Dave says, Tom King Mr. Miracle equals great. Tom King Batman equals poop emoji. So some more story.
What is he just writing like on the ongoing series, or did he write like a certain story arc?
So he's swapped off. I think he was doing the Batman the lead up to the marriage, I want to say.
Okay.
So he was kind of like the late 900s of Batman. He's swapped off again. It was
Batman's at Detective Comics. They both had 1,000 issues. I bet they are.
No, Detective.
It's Detective.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think he was doing base Batman.
Got it.
I want to say it's a different guy now. Tyrion the Fourth, something like that.
Something with a four.
Batman I haven't really kept up too much on, but yeah, Tom King, Mr. Miracle equals great. So far I could agree with that. We'll get into that further. Dave, you might want to tune in tomorrow at 4 and you could hear our opinions on that or tell us why you like it or don't like it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that was Eric's suggestion, right?
Yeah. So for those who checked in last week,
they fired him? That's awesome. Wow. Did he write that bad?
Apparently, yeah. I know Batman the marriage story was kind of divisive for a lot of people.
Did he get married? I'm not up to date with modern Batman either.
That was you're gonna have to read it to find out.
Ooh,
there's definitely a twist that happens that people may or may not have liked.
Okay.
But yeah. Last week we were talking the Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, and we had previous Pastimes comic manager Eric joining us, and he suggested, we picked Transformers and we knew that he loved it, so we brought him on. And we took a guest suggestion for this next week, or this current week, and he suggested Tom King Mr. Miracle, which I know he was a big fan of when it came out, and I'm definitely enjoying it too. So
yeah, I think I said this last week, but Eric's a very literature heavy guy, so I feel like his recommendations are always very deep books instead of like
it's not just
pretty pictures.
It's not just, hey, Batman punched that guy. That was a great story arc.
Right.
Would read again. But yeah, okay. So Dave mentions in the chat here that Tom King destroying Batman he was cut 40 issues short of his intended run.
That's like 4 years, 5 years worth of. You got fired. Wow.
Yeah. Well, at least he had Mr. Miracle. That was good.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
what
one
we'll
good.
remember him for.
Exactly. Yeah. Um, Speaking of dead in the comic book instance, man, that was a stretch, huh?
Yeah, but you made it. So Walking
Yeah,
Dead.
exactly,
That's
yeah,
what we're
yeah,
doing. We're on
exactly,
The
yeah.
Walking Dead.
So our first bundle, again, a reminder, we're not going to do auctions this week. 24 hours, buy it now. When we list it, feel free to mention in Facebook or Twitch if you're interested, and we will be able to get to you right away. First come, first serve, because for the most part, these are all singles of that we have for the bundles. So, Johnny, would you like to tell us what this first bundle is here?
Yeah, so we have for you the entire Walking Dead series. I know you can't see all of them, but there's 16 of these hardcovers. They have 12 issues each. Oh, wrong way. There you go. Yeah, it's 193 issues of The Walking Dead, all collected here. And we're even going to be throwing in a copy of the final issue, Walking Dead number 193, first printing. I'm going to be real. When I was collecting Walking Dead, I was buying these versions. There's a few different ways to collect the series.
Yeah.
There's these compendiums that are trade paperback. They're thicker and there's less of them. So in theory, you're like, oh, that's a better deal. But the quality of those are garbage. I usually don't talk that down on a book, but I'm telling you, those compendiums are not good quality books for your money. So these hardcovers are the way to go. They're really well built. All of ours are new. I mean, we have a whole set of 16 brand new ones. They're thin enough that you don't have to worry about the spine coming apart. So I really like these books a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, people who follow us here on the Comics Corner know that Johnny is all about his omnibuses and collections. And yeah, like I'm familiar with those compendiums. Yeah, like because it is just like, it's a big soft cover book, which
it's like a phone
that
book.
Could get it could get kind of unwieldy.
And what I've noticed will happen is when you get towards the center, the actual spine will kind of crease and cave in. So like you have it on your shelf then and it looks crappy as opposed to these hardcovers that look like magnificent.
Yeah, exactly. And as we said, it is a 16 book series. Johnny, what do we got that listed at?
We are asking $450, which before shipping, this is the one we're gonna have to figure out what the shipping would be because the 5 might be a little low because of the weight. They're hardcovers, but we're asking $450, which is an insane deal.
Because MSRP was what for that? Yeah, $560.
So it's over $100 off. Yeah. And then the convenience of getting it all at one time. I don't know. I don't know how many shops have the whole series, but we do.
Yeah, because I know they've solicited the hardcovers a bit. I know there were certain ones that were either out of stock. I don't know. I haven't checked in a bit if they're back in stock. I know when 16 came out, that was a hot item because again, the series ended kind of abruptly. So people were, kind of swarming to kind of figure out, to see it to the end.
Yeah.
And as such, too, like we said,
we only have one copy of 16.
Yeah, we've got one of those, and again, we're including the first print. That one is an item that we talked about before. So that one we know is first print. Again, for those who are curious if they have one or not, under the price on the front, it'll say if there's nothing there, that's the first print. Otherwise, it'll say second print. That's how I know that's the second printing. So this guy, we have the Walking Dead 1 through 16 hardcover bundle, plus a first print of 193 for $460. $450.
560 was retail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is like a stupid fact about these books, but okay, the shelving units that we have here, they're called Calyx. They're a shelf that you get at IKEA. I know this because I just love books and collecting. And they're little cubes. The whole series of these hardcovers fits perfectly into one cube. It's like it was designed for it.
Exactly.
So if you have Calyx shelves at home, you need to fill one cube with this entire series.
Yeah.
It looks
so
cool.
Walking Dead bundle, Calyx shelving unit not included, but there's a recommendation for storage.
Yeah, not included, but if you have, you want to go buy storage, that's the way to go. So yeah, $450 for that, and that's a good deal. So
yeah, a reminder again, we're not doing auctions for this week, so yeah, $450 on this guy. Whoever mentions it first in the chat, whether you're on Facebook, facebook.com/pastimes, or if you're joining us on Twitch, twitch.tv/pastimesonline. If you mention in the comments on either of those, we could see them up on our screen here. So, and again, these will be up for 24 hours. So if you decide upon it later, or if you're watching this later, basically until 4 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, the 27th, they will be available for purchase on there. And again, we can take credit card over the phone or PayPal invoice at the end. So,
rock and roll, pretty good deal.
All right. What else would you like to show off here?
another set? You want me to do
I was
that?
gonna say, let's take a look at what else we've got here.
It's gonna take me a second to move all these.
Yeah, feel free. So again, thanks for everybody for joining us here. As a reminder, we talked about comics. Fortunately, are kind of back again. I like to think that they never left, but Diamond had other ideas. But they've started shipping out again, so we are getting new stuff in each week. I haven't gotten the invoice yet for what comes in next week. I think that they might be ramping up more Marvel stuff. So the first week back, the 20th, it was basically like 90% DC titles. I think that was because DC was working through other distribution means to be able to get books out to people through that. So Diamond also had DC books kind of at the ready. So Marvel, like the only things that we got this last week were Venom 25 and one or two other titles. But speaking of Marvel here, we've got the Marvel Star Wars Darth Vader. That was a series that came out in, I believe, 2015.
Yeah, 2015 Marvel, right after they bought the rights to Star Wars, they launched a ton of new lines, and this was the first Darth Vader series.
And it is a very popular one too, because they delve pretty deep into Darth Vader's backstory, and they have original stories for him too. And the way in which they write the character, it feels a lot more mature. Like it's not just Darth Vader just kind of waving his hands and doing some space magic. Like it actually gets into kind of his psychology, his decisions, all of his kind of qualms that he has. And there's a lot of pretty powerful moments that I think people kind of wish, as far as Star Wars movies, that they would be dipping into these a bit more for source material.
Yeah, no doubt. So what we should tell them what we're selling. So what we have here is we have 5 trade paperbacks and then 1 single issue. So the 5 trade paperbacks collect the entire 25 issue series, plus the 1 book is a crossover between the Star Wars title that was running at the same time. They had a crossover.
Yeah, Star Wars Vader Down.
Correct. Yeah. So we got that, and then we have an issue of Darth Vader #1. So for those who don't know, this particular series, this story arc takes place between episodes 4 and 5. So this fills in a lot of that gap. So like Mike was saying, it is canon, and there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. This series was great, written by Kieran Gillen, and fantastic artwork. LaRocca, I can't think of his first name, but whatever. Artist LaRocca.
Please, Mr. LaRocca.
Mr. LaRocca, my man. But the series was great. You read the whole thing? You read it?
No, I read Vader Down. That was one again by Eric. Shout out to Eric. Great suggestions from him, and also we have Star Wars does pretty well at our store. Like a lot of times, certain series, whether it's comics or otherwise, like it's almost kind of regional in some degrees, or even just kind of just general area to area. Star Wars is pretty big in our store. We do a lot of Star Wars X-Wing, Legion, and Armada, which are different miniature games. So we've got a pretty big fan base for Star Wars, and as such, the comic books that I kind of didn't know were running until I got here, or at least still running, are a pretty big series. So like I feel like I would ask kind of our customers who subscribe to the Star Wars series, like, hey, if somebody's never really read it and wants to get into it, what would you suggest? And time again, the suggestion was Star Wars Vader Down, which maybe might be a future comic book club choice there, because again, like it is exactly, like it is a well liked, if you like these Star Wars series, or even if you're not that big into it, like it kind of does take it a different direction than the movies in some degrees. So like it is a kind of pretty easy jumping on point for people who, whether you're a huge fan of the series or kind of just a casual, maybe seen like half the movies that kind of come out.
Only half of them are good, so I hope you saw the good half if that's you. But I love Star Wars, and Darth Vader's my favorite character. Darth Vader might be my favorite bad guy in all of like pop culture. He's up there. He's like top 3 for me for sure.
But is he really a bad guy though, Johnny? That's the question.
Hell yeah, he's a bad guy. Did you see the end of Rogue One? What do you mean, is he a bad guy? He sliced people's heads off.
He's misunderstood, Johnny.
He definitely got tricked, but he also killed younglings. So,
wow, that was Anakin. That's exactly.
Oh, that was Anakin. You're right.
Yeah, it's that.
Okay, wait. Real quick, man. You know what's so lame in Episode 3 when the Emperor, or when Palpatine like names him Darth Vader, how he just kind of thought of it off the top of his head. You'll be Darth. Vader.
Exactly.
I'm like, really? That's how he got his name?
Scrambles, like looks around, whatever's on the desk at the time.
Yeah, exactly. So this is better written than episode 3.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Yeah, the Johnny seal of approval.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, Darth Vader is my favorite Star Wars character. So I would have had if they didn't do this right, I would have had a bad opinion about it and sharing it. They nailed it. Karen Gillan hit it out of the park.
I think I'm not allowed to have an opinion because at the time when I was a kid, when did episode 1 came out? That was like
1999.
Was it?
Yeah.
1999. Oh,
yeah,
dang.
they come out every 3 years. So 99, 02, 05.
Oh, dang. So I was 9 years old, and I actually like Jar Jar Binks. So I'm what is wrong with Star Wars fandom. So I'm not allowed to have an opinion, but Vader Down was great, and yeah, the way in which they portray Vader is really awesome.
Yeah.
So also, real quick in the chat again, Dave mentioned the Star Wars Celebration happening last year was a big deal and got a lot of locals interested in the new comic runs again. Yeah, which is very true. I forgot. Yeah, the Star Wars Celebration is a big convention. It's also, to my knowledge, it's pretty limited. Like tickets can be pretty expensive because it's like a certain amount of people that are allowed in there too. But also it's like you get to meet, I believe it's like writers, people who are like voice actors or actors within the movies. It's just kind of just a big convention that's all things Star Wars. And if you're a super fan, like that is kind of the thing to go to. And yeah, I forgot that our boy David had gone to that and shared some pictures and information from there too, because
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really big deal and kind of the thing of if I was more into Star Wars, I would definitely be trying to get a ticket to that too. So
I actually tried buying a ticket to the 2019 one, and yeah, it was like way pricey, man. Like blue C2E2 out of the water prices.
Yeah. But again, if you're into it, they've got like all sorts of cool like exclusive merch, I believe, and then yeah, like just the kind of like meeting like-minded fans, and also just like the people from the industry too is a big deal. So
well, and David's saying that like it got so many people back interested. It definitely did, because after this 25 issue run, which takes place between episodes 4 and 5 in 2017, they started a second Darth Vader series, which takes place between episodes 3 and 4, and that ran for 25 issues and ended. And now in 2020, they kicked off a third Darth Vader series. I bet it's going to be 25 issues, shocker. And it takes place between 5 and 6.
Yeah.
So they're filling in all of his gaps. Like he gets introduced in episode 3, dies in 6. Spoilers. These 3 series will fill in the gaps between each of those episodes.
Darth Vader dies? Oh man.
He's also Luke's father, believe it or not. So.
Spoilers.
All right, well, there we go. Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna buy this bundle, but now I know that he's his father. So,
right. Do you actually even remember when you learned that in your life? I was talking about that with people who were born after 1980. You kind of just grew up knowing it.
No, I think I don't know if I knew it until I actually watched the movie. But that was like, gosh, I must have been like 7 years old. That still blows my mind that it was 99 when episode 1 came out. That still feels wrong to me. I feel like I was a little bit older, but maybe that's.
Are you sure you were born in 1990?
Oh man,
that might be what the problem is.
I need my mom to join the chat here to kind of confirm that now.
Yeah, birth certificate.
Exactly. Yeah, but yeah. Also, so what's the MSRP on this, and what are we looking at?
So MSRP is about a flat hundo, and including the single issue. So we're asking for 80 flats. So that's a good deal. Again, you're getting the whole series,
20% off, and then also the kind of almost a collector's item, the issue number 1 of Darth Vader, which is nothing else. I was gonna say dope cover art. Like the art in these books are pretty awesome.
Yeah, actually, I just realized I own everything here. I have the omnibus that collects all of this. Go figure. I have the omnibus. I have the omnibus that I bought here that collects this whole series, and I have this single issue. So I'm totally down on this set for $80.
Hell yeah!
Johnny
seal of approval. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I put it together. Of course, it got my seal of approval. But yeah, we're asking 80 for it. So anybody interested, you can hit up the the chat. You can make a claim on it. You could pay over the phone with credit card. You can put your credit card number in the chat. I wouldn't, because I order a pizza on you, but you could do that.
Yeah. It's your choice. Or like I said, PayPal invoice is another option too. So at the end of all this, if people end up getting multiple things or whatever to save on shipping, we could take a PayPal. We could send a PayPal invoice to to your email address, and we could square up on there.
That's so dangerous, because I have a PayPal account, and like that I justify buying things. So like, well, it's not going directly out of my credit card, and it is.
Yeah, and I think
it feels like it's not.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all made of money. And also, yeah, I've got PayPal attached to most things these days too. And then also, I've got a relatively newer phone that has you could do the thumbprint like kind of password system.
Oh, cool.
So basically, like instead of typing in my password for stuff, I could just like put my thumbprint on it there, and it knows, hey, that's me. It's nobody else. Nobody hopefully cut off my thumb and is using it to buy stuff. But it also makes it so that
That's how I'm going to fill out the rest of my collection.
Exactly,
Use
yeah.
your thumb to pay for my books.
because the problem that is too is it makes it so convenient to buy stuff of like, in the amount of time that I would normally have to type in like all my information, my
Yeah.
password, my numbers, stuff like that. Like I might have, second doubts, or, like I might just be like, oh wait, I probably should save this till next week. But I'm like I've already put my thumb on there and it's already basically like halfway to my house. So, it makes it so much easier.
Just
so.
like if you throw it in the chat that you want this, you are committed. So
Exactly,
if you want, commit to this now. It's a good deal.
Throw it in the chat. It's that easy. It's
really
as easy
is.
as putting your thumb on your phone.
Yeah, I know there's steps after, but that's easy.
It feels as easy as that.
Yeah. So that's Darth Vader. So that's our set, $80 US, and
20% off basically from MSRP for all these guys, and you get again a great series, the standalone one of Darth Vader Down, and then also the 25 issues of the 2015 Star Wars Darth Vader series, and then also the a collector's issue copy of the #1.
Cool, good deal.
All right, let's see what else we've got here.
All right.
So again, thanks to everybody joining us in the chat. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/pastimes, and we are also on Twitch, twitch.tv/pastimesonline. For those of you who are also interested, we do have a Discord. Oh, geez.
Damn right.
Thud.
Boom.
On the Discord, you can find that on our Facebook page. I think we have a link to that. Unfortunately, there's no easy kind of URL that we could send to you guys.
Does that work?
Ooh, something's breaking.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, you can join us on Discord. We've got chats set up for all things Pastimes. We've got comics, chats for the cards. Hey there, Christina. We've got anime.
Oh, my girl.
You could join us.
Wait, literally, you're the reason I pulled these out. I was like, that chick like anime last week. Let's pull some more manga.
We may or may not be pandering to our audience here.
A little bit. Yeah, what's up?
But yeah, for those of us who joined last week, we had a sweet, it was an omnibus not an omnibus.
Omnibus-like.
Yeah, special edition, I believe they called it, of Berserk.
Deluxe.
The deluxe edition of Berserk, which was issues 1 through 3. In this case, we've got more than just 3 issues. We've got the complete box sets of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Johnny, this is a little bit out of my realm. We've got our resident anime expert here, Johnny.
Well, I know I'm an anime expert, but I am a Dragon Ball expert.
I was gonna say, yeah. All I know is looking at the back of this box, I know Piccolo.
Okay.
We've got, this doesn't play to anybody else but me. That's Tien. Or no, that's not Tien. That's Yamcha. Wait, that's Yamcha. Tien is down there. Sorry, I was looking at him. Bulma? No.
Nope.
The other wife.
Yeah, the other wife.
We've got Goku, Krillin. Who do we have on the front here? We've got young Goku and Krillin on the Nimbus Cloud.
Yeah.
And then I can't really see down here, but yeah, point being.
Well, we've got Kami, Yamcha, Krillin, Goku, Chi-Chi, Tien, General Sao, Piccolo, Trunks, Vegeta, Android 16, Goku,
yeah,
Bulma.
Exactly. We've got anime.
Yeah, we got everything.
Point being, Johnny knows his stuff, so I'll let him kind of talk up the Dragon Ball collections. Because also, a little inside baseball, I know you've also got these too. So
I do.
Definitely a big fan. So
yeah, so this is definitely the best way to own this series here in America. For those who don't know, this originally came out in Japan. Obviously, it's a manga. It was coming out as a weekly series in Shonen Jump magazine, which it was a big fat trade paperback style magazine that would come out every week, and it would only have 1 chapter. And then after the chapters came out, they would put them into these little regular manga books that collected, 5 or 6 chapters. Then they made this box set that collects all 16 of those individual volumes. So this has this top one here is the entire Dragon Ball series. And then actually more insider knowledge. In Japan, it's 1 series. It doesn't get broken apart into Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. It's just Dragon Ball. So here in America, it's separated in these 2 box sets. So yeah, pretty cool. Again, with the actual build of books and why that's important to me, there are bigger phone style type books that they have that collect this series. I actually originally had those and they were shoddy. They'd start to fall apart. The glue was really thin on the spine and they were just too thick. So they would kind of bend and crease. So these guys, we can't open the box, but they're small and thin. So they're going to last. They're good quality. and I feel like I'm just rambling now about Dragon Ball.
That's what we're here for.
That's
we're
what
here
we're here
to
for.
talk about things that we love, and Johnny's a big fan of the Dragon Ball series. That's why we've ordered these and we've got them available. A bit more expensive because it does collect a lot of issues, but what do we have the Dragon Ball original complete set at?
Okay, so Dragon Ball here, the retail is $140. We're asking $110. For Dragon Ball Z, retail's $220. We're asking $175. If you wanted both together, I think we should do $260. I think it would be really
Not
fair.
bad.
That's a really good
That's
deal.
basically all things Dragon Ball.
That is. That's all things Akira Toriyama wrote, because any of the Dragon Ball stuff that comes after DBZ wasn't written by him, so it's not canon until Dragon Ball Super, which came out, but that is no good. We don't talk about that here on the channel.
So, yeah, not in the comics corner where we talk about that.
Dragon Ball Super is for children.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I used to watch a little bit of Dragon Ball Z, not really my cup of tea. I kind of ended up liking Dragon Ball a little bit more, like the series. It's a bit more fun and kind of more of like an adventure story in some ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got both of them on there. So
well, the beautiful thing about reading the manga as opposed to watching the anime is you don't have to sit through 6 episodes of screaming. But I may love it, but I'm well aware of its faults. The manga doesn't have those faults. It's a really quick story.
I was gonna say, even as a kid, like the kind of filler episodes, they kind of call them, of just like not a whole lot happening, was kind of a bummer for me.
Right.
So I think that's what kind of eventually knocked me off it.
The dialogue, the original English dubs were not very good.
Kind of hokey, but
they weren't.
But yeah, the manga does it a lot more justice. So
it does, yeah. And then for those who don't know, the reason they have all those filler arcs in the series is because they were actually making the show as the books came out, but they would have gotten so far ahead with the TV show had they not had those filler episodes.
Yeah, they kind of had to spin their wheels a bit as the writers were actually kind of completing the manga alongside.
Like 4 or 5 episodes a week that were new, but they only had 1 chapter a week, so they had to, you can imagine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like an easy modern American equivalent to that is the Game of Thrones series. I don't know if you ever watched it.
Yeah, they had
the
to
fact
do that with that stuff.
Yeah, the fact that George R. R. Martin was not complete with the books, so they had to kind of divert the TV series from the actual storyline because he wasn't even done with it yet by then. So
yeah, I wasn't into it, but I did hear about it. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball in a nutshell.
So it was. Let's recap the MSRP for Dragon Ball and then our buy.
So we got $140 retail. We're asking $110 for the Dragon Ball complete box set. $220 retail for Dragon Ball Z. We're asking $175. The retail on both would be $360. Yeah, and we're asking $260.
Yeah, so $100 off for the complete Dragon Ball.
And they are just, my gosh, are they convenient? They're like lunch boxes.
Little lunch box. Yeah.
And you get collector edition posters inside these. So that's pretty cool.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, but these are the way to own it. Like I said, I had those other versions. I sold them off and rebought this. Even though they're a little bit smaller, the build is better. And the convenience of it is just
nice. You got your lunch pail that you can bring to work too now. Yeah, just
absolutely.
Also, speaking of things anime here, Christina mentions in the chat here that she's halfway done with the Berserk Volume 1.
That's solid. That's good.
I was gonna say that's a lot. Yeah, exactly.
Are you liking it? Give some feedback.
Yeah. Let's hear back.
I'll swap these out while you're giving feedback.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let us know what you're feeling.
So again, a reminder for those who just joined us recently. We're doing things a little bit differently this week. We're kind of not going to do the 24-hour auction model. People have mentioned that they kind of like the just buy it now versions a little bit better. So all of the items here that we're talking about, it's kind of first come, first serve. So shoot us a message here in Facebook. You can message us on Twitch if you're watching from there too. And all of the prices are just kind of, we're marking them down. No need to try and auction them off. They're just a good, solid, deep discount from the jump. And again, first come, first serve. Shipping for the most part on just about all of these will be about a flat $5. If you're getting a lot of the bigger stuff, for example, like those big Dragon Ball ones, we could talk shipping on those ones too.
Ooh, Christina responded. Duh indeed. Berserk is heavy. Yes, it is. It's very adult, very mature. Might look into you all getting me
the other two. Yeah, because I believe right now they're on volume 3 of those.
4. I got 4.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
and 5 is coming out.
Johnny got the advanced copies of numbers 4.
That's because of the connections I don't really have, but just pretend to. But Yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah, because there's a set amount of those Berserk volumes, but those deluxe ones capture three volumes per.
Yeah. So right now, currently, there's 39 volumes out, and the big deluxe editions collect 3 each. So there should be about 13, but it's still ongoing. So eventually more than 13.
Yeah.
But just to catch us up in 13. So they're all almost halfway through already.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5 of them. Yeah, like when that one comes out, they'll be just about a little under there. Yeah.
More Johnny secrets. Dude, you got it. Hold on. I never got to share the Transformers one from that I talked about 2 weeks ago. We never got to it. So you're like dying, aren't you?
Sure. Yeah, no, I love me some Johnny secrets. So pour myself some more water so I get to listen.
Oh, you need water for this one. So, okay, this is my Transformers Johnny secret story. Back a couple years ago, I was probably in my early 20s. Me and 3 buddies were hanging out, being 20-year-olds, being mischievous, driving around. And we were over in Park Ridge, which we're not far from Park Ridge right now. We're in Niles. Park Ridge is just up Greenwood. So we're in Park Ridge driving around, and we come up to a red light. And the car in front of us has the Transformers emblem on the back of the vehicle. And I'm like, oh, dude, pull up next to this car. I'm going to yell something at this guy. I'm not going to tell you what I was going to yell yet. And so he pulls up next to the guy, and we roll down the window, and the guy does one of these where he kind of looks out of the side of his eyes and then looks forward and won't give us any attention. So the light goes green and he starts going, and I'm like, follow him. And my buddy's like, are you serious? And I'm like, no, dead serious, because if we chase after this guy and we do this, not only does he get a funny story, but we get a funny story. So I am not exaggerating. We were flying around for probably 10 to 15 minutes chasing this guy throughout Park Ridge, and he definitely got nervous at one point and was scared, and we pull up next to him, and he's like, oh, and he lit a cigarette, and he's all scared. And so finally, we roll up to a red light, and we get next to him, and we're all like, roll down your window, and he's real scared. He's like, what do you guys want? And all 4 of us go, Autobots, roll out, and then we zoom away. And that was it. That was the story. That's all we did. We chased him for 15 minutes just to yell, Autobots, roll out, because of his Transformers emblem. We did see him crack the hell up before we sped off. So he definitely got a kick out of it. And he goes around telling that story just like I do. Dude, these crazy guys chased me. I don't know what they were doing. And then Autobots roll out because I had a Transformers emblem. So that's my story.
That's quite a story. I was going to say that was borderlining Johnny confessional at that point. It was almost getting illegal at that point. I'm just chasing dudes down.
Yeah, thank God he didn't call the police while we were chasing him. That was a really short. Fair enough.
But what a drink of water it was, David. Yeah. That was a deep drink. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually the secrets aren't that long, but as soon as we talk Transformers, I'm like, that's the best Transformers story I have in my bank. So there you go.
Hell yeah.
That's my Transformers.
If not any Transformers stories, any Batman stories here. Because right now, up next, we've got another, this looks like a nice collection, an omnibus.
Batman stories, bro! Batman was the first hero I ever liked. I got Batman stories for days. But I've never read this Batman story.
So which one is this one?
So this is Batman by Grant Morrison, which is a very critically acclaimed run. A lot of people love this run. Eric Garneau used to want me to buy the trade paperbacks, and I was like, no, I'm away for an omnibus. Boom, we got
it.
Here it is. So, I actually don't even know what this collects because it's different than the trades. So this collects Batman 655 through 658, 663 through 683, DC Universe 0, and New 52, 30, and 47.
Okay. So just a smattering of Batman storylines that Grant Morrison had written.
Well, no, even though there is that little gap there, this is actually the consistent story.
So he just kind of spread spread.
Yeah, and then there's volumes 2 and 3 of the omnibus. 2 is out. We don't have it here, but 2 is available. Number 3 is solicited, and that does collect his entire run. But the final crisis story takes place between volume 1 and 2. So you would have to pick that up as well if you want the whole thing. But by all accounts, this is one of the greatest Batman runs ever. Have you heard anything or read it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge I mean, I do like Grant Morrison, but I was gonna say not a huge one in that I haven't read all of his stuff. I like a lot of his smaller stuff. He's done like some cool heavy metal stuff too, which I'm always a fan of.
He did Transmetropolitan, right?
Grant Morrison?
Am I wrong about that?
No.
You don't know?
Well, let us know in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I feel like I'm blanking on that offhand now, but yeah, okay. Scottish writer.
He is. Yes.
Yeah. So a man from overseas, kind of a similar ilk to Alan Moore. A lot more of kind of like deeper philosophical writings. Like he just tries to like flip some of the kind of classic storylines we know, or just kind of rewriting them. Also did a small series called We Three, which I'm a big fan of. It's kind of homeward bound, but if the animals were cyborg animals that escaped from a lab. Spoilers might be a Mike suggestion for the comic book club coming up soon.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so yeah, like I like his stuff. I don't know if I've read his. I would have to see the titles of these ones. I probably might have like read some of them here and there, but without knowing that they were Grant Morrison written. But
yeah, actually, I'm the stupid encyclopedia knowledge of this stuff. I know. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. The issues this collects are the Batman and Son trade paperback.
Okay.
Batman R.I.P. trade paperback, and I think a few issues of the Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul, but it doesn't collect all of them because they weren't all written by Grant Morrison. But I do know, I like this. In these omnibuses, they include like filler pages that if there are issues that aren't here, it fills you in on what happened.
Oh, okay.
So the story
reads
through just fine.
Yeah.
It's just they weren't written by Grant Morrison.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So the MSRP on this bad boy is 75. We're asking 60, and actually, just because I'm such an omnibus collector, they usually range from 100 to 125.
Yeah.
So the fact that retail on this is 75, like good on DC.
I was gonna say that is a thick one. Looks like solid binding, which is what we're always looking for here in the comics corner.
Yeah, sometimes DC's books aren't that great with the binding. I know for a fact that the Grant Morrison ones they've done a swell job of because they're just. Some of the ones they do are way too thick. This is not. This is just the right size.
The Goldilocks of omnibuses is what we're looking for here in the Pastimes comic corner.
I wouldn't talk it up if it wasn't true because it's a lot of money to spend on one of these books.
It does sound like a lot, but again, you are getting quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, a lot is relative. I mean, it's if you're going to make that type of investment, you should get the quality back. So that's all I'm saying with that. But knowing that you can collect this whole run in 3 of these books is pretty convenient. So, we're asking $60 MSRP. You can just throw in a claim on it. We can collect that via credit card or PayPal.
Yeah, again, whether you're joining us here on Facebook, facebook.com/pastimes. We are on Twitch also, twitch.tv/pastimesonline.
I have a question. I feel like we have not discussed this, so not putting anybody on the spot. But if it's a local that buys these, do they have the option of doing curbside pickup?
That's a very good point.
On the $5
I was gonna say because some of the bigger stuff, especially the shipping might be a bit.
Yeah.
But again, we are able to do curbside pickup for that too. So again, if you are local, as part of the purchasing, one, I'll probably recognize you. There's I know a lot of our subscribers and stuff like that, but if you would prefer to pick it up, that is an option. So at the store in Niles, we are doing curbside pickup Mondays through Saturdays from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So if you were to purchase one of these, you could just let us know, in the notes there, like, hey, I'd prefer picking it up than shipping. And then also some hot news here in the news corner. We are the mall itself, Golf Mill Mall, will be opening on Friday. So that will be an option too. We will be able to have more store hours. We're going to have more information on that soon. Something that we found out kind of relatively recently. So we're kind of getting our ducks in a row here before we have like a very official announcement for that. But again, if you are preferring to actually come into the store to pick stuff up, that is going to be an option hopefully soon too. And again, curbside is still an option. So if you're looking to save on the shipping, that's probably the best way to do it if you are local. And that'll knock off the 5 to 10, 15. I mean, those are some big books over there. So if you're looking to save on some of that shipping.
Oh yeah, the Walking Dead one. If you pick that up, you'd be getting a killer deal on it.
But yeah, so we'll be able to work with you guys on that too. So
definitely. So Grant Morrison Batman, 60 bones, American.
Grant Morrison, but how do you feel about Frank Miller?
How do I feel about Frank Miller? Wait, why are you asking me? I love it. Is that why you're asking?
That might be a transition to our next items.
Oh, yeah, right. No, you just want a Frank Miller opinion?
Sure. Well, when you get back, you can tell me about your Frank Miller opinions.
Yeah, that's all right. Where is that?
On the left there. under a couple of those things. Yeah. So again, thanks everybody for joining us here. We are here on Tuesdays talking some comic news and doing some sweet sales. Again, we're not going to do auctions for right now as we kind of get more steam and get more people interested. Right now, the buy it now stuff seems to have been going a lot better and kind of a little bit more interesting on our end too, because we could kind of put together some sweet bundles for everybody. And speaking of sweet bundles here, we have a very nice Frank Miller Daredevil collection.
Yeah, so Frank Miller. now I know why we did that. Yeah, one of the best writers of all time in the 1980s, was killing it, retelling origins of characters, and he's most famous for doing the Daredevil run here. He reinvented the character when he was kind of a failing property over at Marvel in the early 80s and such. So what we have here is we have the entire Frank Miller collection in 4 trade paperbacks. So it's 3 volumes of Frank Miller, Daredevil by Frank Miller, and then a copy of I can't think of the name, Born Again, which he was on the title for a few years, left for a year or two, and then came back and did Born Again. So that's where that comes into play. And we're also including a copy of Spectacular Spider-Man number 27, which is the first time Frank Miller works on Daredevil, even though it's not a Daredevil title. And we're also throwing in CGC 9.2 Daredevil number 227, which is the 226. No, it's 227. That's right.
Where Kingpin learns Daredevil's identity.
Right. And this is one of the Born Again issues. I think I talked about this last time. This was actually my book. I got this graded, and I just think it's one of the sweetest covers of all time. That's why I did it. Key issue, not really outside of the Daredevil's identity gets exposed, but really awesome cover art. So that's the deal with the Frank Miller stuff. We got the whole Frank Miller Daredevil run for $120 American. I don't know what the retail was.
That's not bad, yeah, because I was going to say those books were about like 25 or so each.
No,
yeah,
30.
30,
so
yeah.
30. Oh, yeah, so it's $100 retail just for these, and then you're getting the CGC book and the, oh, man.
How could you forget?
Yeah,
there's a little secret one, yeah.
No, I talked about this. I'm saying, like, that's a good deal.
Exactly,
like,
yeah,
$100
just
for these
exactly. We're just giving them away here at Pastimes.
Kind of, yeah. I'm wondering.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Yeah, hold on.
No. You guys deserve to
slide that up there. Nobody saw that one. Yeah,
that's right.
But yeah, so 120 you said for all of that.
Yeah, so the CGC book alone is, I mean, to get something slabbed, I think we talked about all the time. That's $30 alone just to get it slabbed, exactly, and you don't know what grade you're getting at that point. So,
which also for those interested too, we are a CGC certified vendor, which means that if you have any sweet books that you've got lying around that are in pretty solid condition, or even if it's older and not in the best condition, one that is a key issue, or one that you just want to get slabbed, because sometimes they just make good display pieces, we are able to send them in to CGC. On average, it usually takes anywhere from kind of 3 to 5 weeks. They are still open during the pandemic stuff, so they are accepting shipments.
Really?
Because we've had a couple of requests from subscribers, so I figure I may as well mention it here too, that not only is that something that we could send out, but they are still available too. So in this downtime, if you're going through your collections, like I know I am, and just kind of reorganizing or just kind of like looking for key issues, stuff that kind of slid under your radar, we are also able to send that stuff out for you. Again, yeah, like it comes to about like 30 or so per book, because there's going to be a flat shipping rate for the, obviously sending out more is better. And then I'd have to double check their rates, what they are right now, but it's usually been about, for modern books, it's about $16 per. So it's a good way to kind of, if you've got some books that you're looking to get set up in slabs, that's
actually when I was doing it, I would send them out 5 at a time because it was just smarter.
It saves money, and then also it's nice just kind of getting a nice, it's like Christmas when it comes back too.
True. Well, and you said for the display purposes, like I mean, you could buy comic frames that are really solid, but I mean they're very well protected in here. They're sealed. The color isn't going to fade, and the air is not going to affect the paper quality at all.
Yeah.
And it.
I was gonna say,
I like that it gives that little description. I was gonna say, I always like that.
Not only seeing a nice big number obviously helps, kind of justify, in your mind,
right.
Like it's kind of, obviously we talked about a little bit before, comic is obviously kind of a subjective art,
right.
It's not really a science, it's person to person, what they might say varies. So CGC is basically kind of a middleman that, we all kind of trust to, like their opinion is the one that we're going to, set our standards by. So it helps kind of verify like, hey, this is a 9.2. You know, like it meets these standards. And then also, yeah, like at the top there, they'll include any kind of relevant information as to, you know, like writers, artists of that series, and then also like any kind of key issues, information, like if there's a first appearance, storyline, you know, a big story beat, anything like that, they kind of also include on there too. So it makes an easy kind of display piece, you know, because even if you have friends or family that aren't really that big into comics, it's an easy way to say, you know, like, hey, check this out. This one is a cool issue, and here's why. You know, it's usually just a small little blurb, and if nothing else, just keeps the comic nice and shiny. So
I agree. And actually, dude, I used to think when I first started getting these, I was like, that would be the sweetest job in the world, to be the person in charge of like writing that little description for the books, because you'd have to like read the books and then like give a description. I'm like, oh, what a cool job.
Until I'm sure they just go to like Wikipedia at this point.
Oh, and just don't pay anybody.
I was gonna say, I feel like they have it's kind of similar to the Overstreet Price Guide, where in the Overstreet Price Guide, not only is that usually kind of like a pricing Bible in a lot of cases, but also it'll say on there too, like it'll probably have a similar kind of information of, hey, here's something that's kind of noteworthy that happened there. So
right. So,
I thought you were going to say that you want to be the grader. I was going to say, like, I feel like that is kind of more
be a grader. No,
yeah.
You know why I wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah.
Because I bet it would get too daunting and it wouldn't become fun anymore. That would be, because like right now it's really cool when you like come across a Spider-Man 300, but when you get set in 20 a day and you're in charge of telling somebody that it's not worth that much, I was going
to say, now that I think about it, I think we had this conversation off camera at some point.
Yeah.
The idea of like, you know, being sent all these sweet key issues that like the average comic, you know, reader or collector might, you know, see like once in like, you know, like in a lifetime, you know, like they're just kind of getting, you know, them in every other month and just kind of being like, oh, this one is kind of a crummy grade one.
And actually that's something I noticed when I first started going to conventions. I'll never forget the first convention I went to. I was 24, I'm 29 now. So I went back in like 2014 to, I think Wizard World was my first one.
Yes.
And like, dude, the first time, and you haven't ever seen any of these books, and like all of a sudden every booth has a giant size X-Men 1 and there's an amazing Fantasy 15. It's mind-blowing. And then like you start going to conventions regularly and you see the same vendors and everybody has the same books, and it's cool because they're spread out, but it still feels like, okay, I've seen this before. And I think like working at CGC would be even worse. Like it would be that times 100. So that's my view on that. But it's still cool to go to conventions, and maybe not during quarantine, but that's my favorite thing to do, is go to a convention. But it does lose some of the lust after you've seen it so many times.
But at some point too, that does kind of make it a little bit more accessible too for you to grab them too, because then you see like, oh, hey, they do exist, they are out there. It's not, you know, it does.
I don't have to buy it right now.
Exactly,
I'll see a giant size again. But you know, when I bought my giant size X-Men for like $300 at that convention, that first one I went to. I bought a giant size X-Men for $300. I've never seen one that cheap since. That's a great freaking deal on that book.
Did you get that one slabbed, or was it already slabbed? Or
no, I ended up not getting it slabbed because there was a small tear in the back that would have really like killed it. Yeah. And it's cool enough on its own. Yeah. That's my answer to that one. I didn't want to get it slabbed, and then it comes back, it's like a 4.0, even though that's worth a lot still. Like if it's slabbed, I want it to have a high number.
Sure.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Well, even if you're not getting anything slabbed, again, any of our subscribers or people watching, that is something that we can still do. So just a little PSA that CG is still kind of up and running.
That's crazy.
And we're still able to send some stuff out. So like I said, I've already gotten some requests from other subscribers via email, which again, another way to reach me is the email, comics@pastimes.net. We should have that right below us here or above us. I forget now. The information for that. Things like, look around, you'll find it. Comics@pastimes.net. You can shoot any kind of information there too if you have any questions or requests like that too. So again, the Daredevil bundle we had at $120.
Yeah, $120 American.
So you get 4 trade paperbacks, the CG Seed issue, and then the first was it his first?
So Frank Miller's first work on Daredevil, even though it's a Spider-Man issue. Yeah, it was like a guest appearance, and I'm pretty sure he only does the cover for this one.
I was gonna say, I think it's just the cover art. Yeah,
and then I think for this is issue 27. I think 28 he does the inside pencils.
There you go.
Why do I know this? I don't know.
That's a man who's dedicated to the work.
I don't have a lot of friends that look
craft,
at things online a lot. So that's what happens. So that's what that's that. Let's stick with Frank Miller.
Oh,
now you're like,
I was gonna say, exactly. Yeah, now
tell your opinion.
Look at these transitions.
Yeah. We grab some more Frank Miller stuff.
Yeah, speaking of Frank Miller, for those who've been following us in the Comics Corner here, we've been doing the book clubs once a week since we've kind of gotten into quarantine and gotten this all up and running. We did do a Batman Year One read, so we all kind of Johnny and I sat down. We read the 4 issues, 4 issues of Batman Year One. Written by Frank Miller, and that one was a great read. So he does a lot more kind of mature, kind of darker, gritty, kind of realistic stuff. But the way in which he retold the story, in similar to the way that he did with Daredevil, like he helps kind of bring these characters back into a new light.
Yeah. Real quick side note with that. For anybody that has seen the Batman 1989 movie, I have read multiple times online that Tim Burton walked around with a copy of Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns while filming that movie because he wanted that to be what inspired it. So it really set the tone for like what Batman was supposed to be, what Daredevil was supposed to be, and our favorite Canadian friend, Wolverine. So back in 1982, Frank Miller was in charge of telling Wolverine's, not his origin story, but a story arc about his life before the X-Men. And that came in the form of this, 4-issue miniseries. Whoa, we're collapsing.
Yes, there's too many comics.
That's right. Oh man,
the bundle is there's too much.
Okay, so let's take 2 on that. All right, Frank Miller 4-issue miniseries right here. There's issue 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're also including a copy of his 1988 kickoff Wolverine #1. This is not by Frank Miller, just the 4-issue miniseries. That cover art's by John Buscema, who's passed away since RIP. And then we're also including the newest Wolverine 2020 issue #1. That's the ongoing series that just started. It's in my pull list. It's a great series. So if you need to start off reading #1,
so you get kind of a flight of Wolverine stories here. So
through the age. And what are we asking for that? We're asking $99, so a shade under $100. Makes you feel better when you're only spending two digits instead of 3.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's my logic. So $99. The retail on these, I don't know what we had as retail, but I know that 4-issue miniseries itself goes for a good amount on eBay.
I was gonna say the #1, especially because that is kind of an iconic cover there. Great art, but then also like that's one that's like I feel like homaged a lot and referenced a lot. Oh, it's somewhere in there. There he is.
Yeah, that's one of the best Wolverine.
Beckoning you on over. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So a great storyline, classic art, and then also you get kind of the following #1 series issue, and then like we mentioned too, the current ongoing after the Dawn of X, they were calling that event of when they rebooted the X-Men. It's Wolverine's first #1 issue in that new line. So
yeah, pretty good. And I talked about him last week. Wolverine's one of my favorite characters. Cool. He's always going to be cool, man. He's the coolest X-Men there is.
How do you feel about somebody other than Hugh Jackman playing him?
I don't. That can't happen. That's the most serious I've been since we started. I was going to say, man, I hate the idea of anybody else taking them. What I really like them to do, even though I'm not a big X-23 fan, although she was cool in the Logan movie, I wish that when MCU kicks off X-Men, I hope they go that route, to be honest, because I don't want anybody replacing.
I know there's been talks about replacing him, but like that's the thing is we were talking about this a bit when we were in the Comics Corner talking Marvels, how Alex Ross kind of set the standard or for Professor Xavier. When he drew Professor Xavier in that series, he modeled Patrick Stewart, and it was kind of art imitating life, because then when they did the X-Men series, they reached out to Patrick Stewart to play Xavier because they used him in the popular Marvel series. So and on that note, like Hugh Jackman definitely is kind of the embodiment of Wolverine for so many people, because like he just played it so well. Like it's tough to see somebody other than him, like between the look, the personality, like the tone of it and everything like that.
Well, and I don't know who's going to put in that much work. I mean, I'm watching something also, a workout freak. Dude, his workouts during that were insane. And like his diet, he was eating like a dozen egg whites every morning for breakfast for months. That's the reason he doesn't want to play the role anymore, because the preparation was like way too intense for him. And You know the Wolverine? We actually have a poster for it right there. But the movie The Wolverine that came out, the second in that trilogy, there's a fight scene between him and Silver Samurai, and he's like, it's the most shredded he is in any of these movies. And that morning, he was so dehydrated because you lose water weight, so you look more shredded. He almost fainted on set like several different times while they were filming that scene, so he could look that way. Because if he ate anything, you would be able to see like it would add more fat to his body. That's a commitment. Like he did that for 16 years or whatever.
Yeah, obviously at some point, you gotta hang it up, but it is kind of hard to say.
Well, the timing for Marvel to get it as he leaves is just like, come on.
Yeah, like the second that we could finally have like crossover movies, Hugh Jackman, like meeting
fighting Bruce Banner, oh come on,
dude. Yeah, obviously that's the one that everybody wants is Hulk versus Wolverine, but I don't know. I guess we'll see where it goes from there as far as the movies, but.
I heard it thrown around, and it might have just been clickbait, but the guy who played Eggsy in the Kingsman movies, I don't know if you saw those, he was thrown out, and I was like, okay, I think he's a good enough actor, and he's kind of short, so that's cool. That was the one thing. Hugh Jackman was a little taller than Wolverine, and I think he got some gripe for that in the beginning.
Yeah.
But that's irrelevant. Also, did you ever see the comparison of him from like X-Men 1 and then like the Wolverine?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He's in good shape in X-Men 1, but by comparison, he looks like fat and out of shape because he's so shredded in the later movies.
Exactly. It's like seeing pictures of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, where it's like back when he was like wrestling in the 90s. He was still again pretty shredded, but now like he looks like he's just some doughy guy that was like off the couch compared to like what he was now. So
that's actually a really good analogy in comparison. So, but Wolverine, cool dude. If you want to know his history, this is a good bundle for you. $99. You get the 4-issue Frank Miller miniseries from '82. John Buscema, 1988 issue 1, and 2020. Andy Kubert is doing the art for that too. I'm pretty sure. For anybody who knows, Andy Kubert worked on X-Men back in the 90s when it was at like its peak. He took over after Jim Lee actually, so it's cool that he's back on that title.
All right. I believe we have one more bundle.
Oh yeah. I was like, what? I thought this was
exactly. Yeah. Ending on Wolverine, baby. So again, thanks everybody for coming out. We are talking comics here in the Comics Corner. We're doing some sales. Again, this week we're doing a little bit differently. It's going to be mostly all just kind of buy it nows. So the prices that we list, it's first come, first serve. You could shoot us a message here on Facebook, facebook.com/pastimes, or on Twitch. Oh, yep, I was hiding the bundle. The final boss. Twitch.tv/pastimes online. You can send us messages either spot. We'll be able to see it. These deals will last for a full day. So until 4 p.m. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central. Basically at the start of our Comics Corner tomorrow, the deals will be closed, and we'll be able to start sending out the books. Or again, you could have them shipped to you, or we can do in-store pickup Mondays through Saturdays, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So
rock and roll.
All right. And then we've got some familiar faces here for this one.
Yeah. Again, looking around the store today, I was like, what can I piece together? And I was like, we have the whole Infinity Saga in trade paperbacks, and I didn't even realize it. So what I put together for you, I'll start off with this as like an added throw-in single copy issue of Infinity Gauntlet #1, cover art by George Perez, one of the most iconic comic book covers of all time. Maybe the most iconic crossover cover of all time. So that's going to be included. Then, Epic Collection, #6, Silver Surfer, Thanos Quest. It is volume 6 of Silver Surfer, but you just read this.
Yeah, I was going to say, it might look familiar for people who, this was one of our books on the Comics Corner. So in the middle there, I don't know if you want to show it to the camera, like, because you can even see, like, it's the black lines are issues 1 and 2 of the 2-part series of the Thanos Quest. So the white parts.
Oh, wow.
Perfect.
Jeez. I'm glad that's on camera. That was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. But the parts before and after are all Silver Surfer issues, but they do lead into Silver Surfer's role in the Thanos Quest. Like a lot of the characters and just the kind of rise of Thanos that's happening kind of in the background of some of these issues. And then the following issues are the kind of aftermath with Thanos with the Gauntlet, and then it kind of like leads into the actual Thanos Gauntlet, the Infinity Gauntlet series. So
boom, and we got that included too. So this isn't just the Infinity Gauntlet trade paperback; it's the deluxe edition. This was the most recent edition that came out. So this does tie into this directly. Like after Thanos Quest that kicks into this.
Yeah, Thanos Quest was basically the prelude to the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, they go together. And in the omnibus of Infinity Gauntlet, it literally collects like all these issues plus this, plus more, but like these are the spine of it. So after Infinity Gauntlet, Marvel launched Infinity War a few years later, and we got that sucker. So obviously, you know, Infinity War was the name of the movie. But that movie was really more based off of Thanos' Quest, not even Infinity Gauntlet. And then I read this at one point that they just didn't want to call it Infinity Gauntlet because war sounds cooler. And I'm like, you know what?
You're not wrong.
I agree with that. I don't think anybody would have been like, Infinity Gauntlet, can't wait to see that movie. No, Infinity War, dude. That's powerful. So, Infinity War, 1992 follow-up to Infinity Gauntlet, which I think was 1991. Yep, correct. Yeah. So we got that trade paperback. This collects the whole crossover. 1 through 6, plus some bonus. Marvel Comics presents 108 through 111.
Some tie-in issues.
Yeah, and Warlock and the Infinity Watch 7 through 10. So leads directly into that. And then the fun doesn't stop there because it's Infinity.
The fun's never ending.
Boom. After the war, we got the Crusade. And this one's so intense, they had to split it into 2 trade paperbacks. We got both of them. So eventually later on, I know Jonathan Hickman did something with the Infinity title, but for what it's worth, this is the Infinity trilogy. Like when people talk about Infinity, they're talking about this. Yeah, I think in like 2015, Hickman did something, but that's very loosely associated with this. If you're talking,
there's a lot of like later Thanos stuff too, like the Thanos Initiative and some follow-up stuff, and they would use, you know, like the Infinity kind of like prefix for other titles later on down the line. But this is, like you mentioned, like the culmination of all of it. So
and then, you know, I thought it was cool enough that we had all the Gauntlet War and Crusade, and then Mike was like, oh, throw in Thanos Quest, and I'm like, dude, that's really like everything you need. So if you like those movies, if you wanted to learn more about that or anything, this is a great bundle for you. Retail on this sucker is about $175. We're asking $140. Wait, can I give the disclaimer about the Thanos book? I have to.
Oh, sure,
I would never not tell anybody something like this. The Thanos book, it is slightly warped a little bit. Maybe if you have it in the shelf tight enough, it doesn't look that bad when I'm holding it up, but it is a little curved. We're just being honest about that.
And unfortunately, that's one of the bummers. Like sometimes, like honestly, out of our hands, like it comes sent like that, which is a real bummer. You've kind of griped about that before.
Dude, one of the epics I got today, like for me, guy works here. It showed up and it's dinged. Like
hot out the box, like, you know, like nobody.
I took it out of the box. It was dinged already. So it's
that's one of the bummers. But also just, you know, like as they kind of sit on the shelves for a bit, you know, like bends, kind of creases happen. You know, it is a bummer. It does happen. But you know, full transparency. You know, like.
Yeah, the rest of them were in great shape. There's nothing else noticeable, I would tell you, but that one's just a little curved one, to be honest. So, but yeah, we're asking $140 off $175 MSRP, and then you're getting this
tossing in. Yeah, again, like you already have, you're gonna have that in the Infinity Quest, the Infinity Gauntlet trade. Yeah. But it's just such a great cover that, like,
it is.
Yeah, we kind of had to throw that in just because, if nothing else, it's just awesome. It's not issue number 4, but it is still a great cover.
It's true. Yeah, man, I never knew how cool that 4 was.
Exactly. It's dope, man. It's a subtle one, but it gets you.
It does. So yeah, I think that's what we got for today. Those are the bundles. But like I said, I didn't know we had all these complete series that we could put together. So I was really happy to get the whole trilogy, the whole Darth Vader series, the whole Walking Dead, the whole Frank Miller Daredevil. Exactly. Those are cool, man. At least I think so. That's all stuff I own. So
yeah, there's a lot to enjoy there. But yeah, we just wanted to kind of we're trying something a little bit different this week again with the no auctions, just kind of all buy it nows. Little spoilers. Next week we might be trying some other different stuff too. Johnny and I have been kind of talking shop and getting some ideas together. So be sure to tune in next week too. On Tuesday. Actually, it might change a little bit because, again, for those who are tuning in just now, the mall golf mill that we were in, it is opening on Friday again. So things might shuffle around a little bit as far as streaming schedule and how we go about it. We will keep people informed via emails, facebook.com/pastimes, to get kind of more up-to-date information on that. We still obviously want to stream once the store is kind of back open again, just because it's fun for us. We get to interact with our customers and just people kind of popping in. So it gives us something to do and we enjoy it. New ways to kind of showcase stuff that kind of, obviously even though we have like ways to show it off the racks and stuff like that, there's kind of a lot to take in it sometimes. So, you might not be able to catch everything. And also it gives us a chance to kind of go through, see what we've got and find kind of like Johnny said, like, oh, hey, we happen to have all things Infinity, Gauntlet, Quest, Crusade, War.
And I look at those shelves, like I study them because I love it so much. Like they don't even have to pay me, and I would study those shelves. And there's so much, some of it doesn't even click, and I'm looking for it. So
exactly. So it kind of gives us new venues to kind of showcase the cool stuff that we have and bundle it in a way where, if you're a collector or looking to dive into it, like we said, like if you've never read the anything kind of Infinity or Thanos related, that's everything.
Yeah,
like you
it
buy
really
that.
is. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like read all that, and then, you can rewatch the Marvel movies and know exactly what's going on and like who the characters are, who they left out, what was changed, all that fun stuff. So
one thing I'm a huge fan of is the Daredevil Netflix series, and that borrows heavily from the Frank Miller stuff. I wouldn't say it's based on it, but there are a ton of elements, the tone, some storyline arcs, but that. So if you wanted to get in on that, read those books first. You buy them, then you read them. Buy those books, read them, and then you can watch or rewatch Netflix Daredevil, which is a great time. So.
Yeah,
did you like that? I really never talked about it.
Yeah, because I think we did a little bit because I haven't really watched too much of the TV series stuff for all things kind of superhero.
Okay.
Like there was obviously the Luke Cage, Punisher, like I've heard really good stuff about, especially the newer one.
Yeah.
Because the newer.
Yeah, Davis was bragging about that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So yeah, like I hear good things about it. I just don't know. I guess I never really. Sometimes it's just the obviously since they're longer series, it's a little bit harder to sit down and watch them all as opposed to a movie where, like I'm usually kind of out with friends anyway. And you're like, oh, we'll watch this movie. Like, oh, okay, sure. A little bit easier to digest in that way. But, and also part of it too is I like to binge watch stuff. So like usually I would have to wait till the series is done anyway to just actually sit down and run through all of it. But yeah, I've heard great stuff about Daredevil and Punisher, Luke Cage, all that stuff. So
yeah, I really dug him. So Johnny stamp of approval. We need to get some little stickers made. I would love little stamps.
Yeah.
And then when we sell these bundles, I'll slap one on.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Although I like the idea too of I have to have a sticker of this. Like, did it get the double sticker approval? Does Johnny like this and Mike doesn't? Does Mike like this and Johnny hates it? Oh man.
We're just gonna sticker all these books off and tell our opinions. I like this idea.
Yeah. So if any stickers start showing up on your books, you'll know why.
That's right.
But yeah, also as part of that too, we might start being able to showcase some of the kind of as more comics kind of roll in every week, we might be able to kind of showcase like maybe our picks of the week too, of like, hey, this one just came out. Yeah. Be sure to stop by. We will definitely have a lot of the previous week's books out again when the store is open, just for people to kind of catch up again because for those who may not know or might have forgotten, March 25th was basically the previous like last week of new comics. Diamond Comics kind of went on hiatus for a bit there as far as the distribution of them. So basically until like last week, the 20th was the first week back. So basically there's only been like 3 weeks of comics in like the last 2 months. So
it's been a bummer.
Yeah.
We're back in action. So
yeah. So we'll be able to help, again, delineate which was which week. So people who like might have missed out on those weeks, or, like whether they, just weren't aware of what happened or just kind of missed it. It's a way for you to be able to kind of come back in the store and see, oh, hey, here's the weeks that we missed. Because otherwise, sometimes if they're, if they're off the new week rack, they might just kind of get lost in your mind, or you might not necessarily know which ones came out recently. So it's a way for you to, kind of see at a glance, like, oh, hey, here's what I missed and here's what I'm interested in. So
definitely. And yeah, I would really like to do like hot picks of the week or like the new stuff that's coming out. We can talk and showcase that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I don't know, that Venom 25 seems like it's going to be a big hit. I don't know.
The Donny Cates run has been very popular as far as Marvel.
Oh, he's still writing it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I know people dig his run. I thought it was over with.
Also, he also did Thor for a bit too. There might still be ongoing for Thor, or maybe I think it was Thor.
Jason Aaron.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I think he's the new one. I think he did a little bit of the
Cates did before him.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, also, if there's anything that you guys want us to either talk about or show off more during all of these, we are definitely open to suggestions too. We've already gotten some good suggestions so far. And like we said, we're kind of using that to kind of mold and guide this as it's, a learning experience for all of us. It's new to us. May not be new to you. So if there's stuff that you'd like to see too, let us know. Maybe we could have live unboxings of packages that just came in for John over there. But
should totally do live unboxings. You mean him? John?
well, yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
nobody else could see it. Our boy John showed us a sweet package that came in. I can only hope that it's more CGC books.
Oh, it probably
for
is. He
those-
was telling us about
I was gonna
this.
say, yeah, for those. I think we
Nice.
mentioned it on one of the previous episodes,
Yeah.
installments of this, whatever, of the Comics Corner.
Chapters.
One of our coworkers, John, he is a fan of the Sandman, and he got Sandman #1 CGC. Or not, if that's correct. Was it Sandman #1?
I think it was.
Okay, yeah. Sandman #1 CGC. Oh,
9.0?
9.5. That's a big number.
6, 9.6.
9.6. That's a thumb there. I thought that was a period.
Yeah, that's nice.
But yeah, I was gonna say 9.5 isn't even an option.
Right.
But yeah, 9.6, very high up there.
Very high. That's really cool. I'm really
Almost a
happy for you.
10.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's really cool. Although it's not a shot. That's just
I think that was a compliment. But
exactly. Yeah. Like honestly, like that's the thing is like once you're in the 9.0 range, that's why they have those delineations. Like I said, like 9.5 isn't the option because from there it's 9.0, 9.2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So two steps off from
there
10.
is a 9.9. Did you know that?
Is there?
It goes 9.8, 9.9, and I think you can do it.
Really?
Perfect time.
What
it's-
is the difference there?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the guy on eBay who was selling it, but I'm 110%
That sounds
positive I've seen a
Almost
9.9.
fake, but yeah. I was gonna
Maybe
say.
it was, but I've seen it. I'm just sharing what I've seen. I didn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't grade it.
Weird. He just like wrote over the 0 and kind of like whited out, so it made it look like a 9.
Maybe. Well, and yeah, like you said, like what's the difference between an 8 and 9 at that point? It's like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
like
don't
that's
know.
like we were talking about that a little bit earlier. Of it's not an exact science. It is kind of subjective. It's down to who is grading it that day. How are they feeling? Is this like the first book of the day? Was it the last one?
Dude,
there's always-
the first set I sent in from here, I sent in some high books, like a Spider-Man 300, a Spider-Man 361, and like a Spider-Man 316 all at once, and the Secret Wars 8. And they came back garbage grades, and I'm so convinced that guy was just having a bad day.
Yeah,
because they were beautiful books.
You were halfway on a flight on over there to
Maybe, yeah. So
Washington? No, New York.
I don't know where
are they.
Oh, where's Royce was asking me earlier, where's Diamond? Where do they come out of? Ohio?
No, Massachusetts. No, Boston. Yeah,
Boston?
No. Jeppy owns the Orioles. Where is that out of? Or no,
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore. Yeah, thank you. It's one of those B1s on the East Coast. Close enough.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
you're within spitting distance of the other one. Yeah. So
I forgot you told me that last week for the Orioles.
Yeah.
They're not a good baseball team, so I don't know what he's doing. He runs that as well as he does Diamond.
Fired.
Boom.
Jesus. Well, there goes our chance of having Steve Jeppy on the show.
That's okay. I would just tear him apart. I would ask the hard questions.
Yeah. Hold
why are my epics getting dinged when they're brand new?
Mr. Jeppy, why are you personally dinging my books?
Yeah, that's Steven.
All right. But yeah, thanks again for everybody for coming out. Again, we will be back tomorrow for the Comics Corner Book Club. Again, a recap for those who may have not been able to follow last week. We have read the Tom King Mr. Miracle. So that is a 12-part series. We've got the trades, those that we each read, and are going to be talking about that for a couple hours at 4 p.m. Central tomorrow. So feel free to tune in for that too. And then we will be back again next Tuesday, again with more sales. And like we said, some more kind of options that we're going to have of ways for you guys to get involved, and also more kind of sales and bundles and fun stuff that we're going to be doing on here. So I'd say be sure to tune in for that too.
Yeah, Mike came in today with some really cool ideas for making the bundles. I'm all for it. Like, I think about this stuff all the time, and he had some creative ideas I've never thought of. And not that I'm the end all be all, but it was really cool that like we each had these different ideas, and we're gonna try to.
Because again, if nothing else, like it's not just a way for us to sell stuff. It's a way for us to kind of like put a spotlight on and show a lot of the cool stuff that we have that again might otherwise be missed or kind of like lost in the shuffle because like as far as back issues, we've got like 55,000. I think we did like the rough count of, because we had like X amount of long boxes. The average long box holds like 250, 350, something like that, depending on bag and board and size. We just mathed it out, and there's quite a lot of comics that we've got here. So like it's easy for some to get lost. So we trying to find different ways to kind of present them and get the eyes on there for some cool stuff that might get otherwise missed.
Did you guys know? I don't know why you would know this, but back when your location was before we moved into the mall, I was in there once, and somebody looked over this. There was a New Mutants 98, which is the first Deadpool, which is a hot book, like in the rack, or not like in the file cabinets, like New Mutants 97, 98. And I'm like, what is this doing here? Like, Eric, it's behind the counter, man.
It's like, yeah, put them on blast.
Stuff like that happens, and you get
or sometimes it's intentional. Sometimes you want to have a little, a couple diamonds in there. It rewards people who are digging, who are looking around. So
I'm not going to look because how could that be in there?
That wasn't an accident. That was intentional. And gems abound here at Pastimes. That's why we're taking days like this. Try and get people to notice them and see what we've got. And also, it's in some ways, if nothing else, it's kind of fun for us to kind of go around and see oh, hey, we've got all these, this run of this thing. Let's put it together for somebody who's never read it and doesn't have it. So
I love doing that. That's one of my favorite things to do. So
again, feel free to keep an eye out here. Again, any of these bundle deals will be ending tomorrow at 4 p.m. So get those messages in on Facebook, facebook.com/pastimes, or if you're on Twitch, twitch.tv/pastimesonline, and we'll be able to go from there. We could take payments either over the phone via card, or we could send out a PayPal invoice. Flat shipping for the most part, $5. Any of the bigger stuff, like we said, we'll be able to weigh it out and kind of let you know how much that would be. And again, we do have options to forego that if you're local in the Niles area or greater Chicagoland area. We could do pickups Mondays through Saturdays from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And Golf Mill Mall will be again open on Fridays. So you could also swing by the store during then to pick it up too. So if you purchased it online, just let us know in the comments, hey, I'll be able to swing on by at this point to pick it up. So that way, you could forego some of the shipping and save even more on these already pretty big discounted deals that we've got. So,
and even if you don't live close to Niles, there's nothing going on now, so you can get in your car and drive over here.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been hot out. It's a good time to bike. Just bike around, carry those 2 lunch boxes of Dragon Ball. It might be a little tough getting back, but it's a good exercise if nothing else.
It would be, yeah, definitely.
You'll be looking like Hugh Jackman in no time if you've got that as part of your workout regimen.
What if that's biking? Biking, just like bench Wolverine books.
Biking 20 miles, holding 100 pounds worth of mangas. Nothing better than that.
It's true in the 80-degree weather.
Well, we'll have more sweet sales and more workout tips like that. Hopefully tomorrow. Again, we're talking Tom King's Mr. Miracle, the 2017 12-part series. So feel free to come back in tomorrow at 4 p.m. for that.
I'm definitely coming in with workout tips tomorrow. 100%. They're going to be awesome.
We'll be looking shredded, talking Mr. Miracle. So thanks again for everybody who stopped on by. It's always fun chatting with our customers and people who are just kind of joining us on Facebook. And we will see you guys tomorrow.
Have a good night. See you tomorrow.